Iowa has put 1 million watts of light into this place.
Mike, I was going to tell everybody, this is not over, folks. The best part is yet to come, and I guarantee you one thing. You think that last race was something to watch. You wait till you get everybody out there that's won races prior to this. You're going to see one shootout that you will remember for a long time.
Many of the sport's top drivers, by winning races recently, are already in the Winston Select. If you won a race as a driver in 1993 or 4, you're in this field. If you won it as a car owner, your car's in this field with its present driver. And look at a lot more of that 200-mile-an-hour tape. Originally developed for forced air heating systems. They call it duct tape for heating ducts, but it's held race cars together at 200 plus.
You see Sterling Marlin coming out there with his car right behind him. Crowds cheering and everything. This is a very proud moment for this boy. He's never been in Winston because of winning a major race until Daytona this year.
That's right. He's always had to come through the Winston Open, which he's won 3 times. And the fans, they are crowding the fence to get a look at their favorite drivers on this all-star night.
You know, Mike, a few seconds ago, we seen Jeff Gordon in there. His whole crew was working on that race car. They do have a little advantage. They have a race under their belt in the dark here, and they can make some changes that might be just a little bit better than some of the other cars that didn't race already.
That's right. Owner-driver Darrell Waltrip and his Western Auto Chevy coming out. Darrell will join us on some of the TNN Busch Series telecasts this year. And let's go to Glenn with the runner-up in the Winston Open.
Boy, big smiling face from Greg Sachs, but you knew you had a fast car.
Well, I tell you, Glenn, we sure did. You know, that USDA Jasper Engine Ford Thunderbird, woo, let's go. The car's a little tight in the beginning there. When we had that big wreck there in the middle, we freed the car up a little, and I knew we were home free from there. Right now, you know, with these 20 minutes between races, I really wanted to make a gear change, but we just couldn't take the chance that we wouldn't get it done in time. So we've gone with what we got. We're going to go out and run them hard and see if we can't come home in front of this Winston Select.
It looked like you and Schrader were having a lot of fun those last couple laps.
Oh, man, it's pretty neat. You know, I had the bottom groove, and Kenny looked like he was pretty good on top, and I was going to give him the top, and he took it. We run side by side through 1 and 2, and he got the run on me and beat me down there. Kenny said after it, he said, I think I went into a little easy in 3 and 4, and I snuck back by him. It was close to the line, but we were happy to finish second.
Well, he didn't know whether he finished second or third, but I bet you knew, didn't you?
I knew, and I think he knew, too.
Former track champion in the NASCAR Modifieds up at Stafford, Connecticut, Greg Sachs.
Greg's going to have to work on that loud voice, isn't he?
Is he excited or what? Dale Earnhardt.
Ooh.
6-time Winston Cup champ. And you hear the mixed reaction for the crowd. They either love him or hate him, but they all respond and they all have a reaction when Dale Earnhardt comes out.
That's pure excitement, what that is. When that man gets in a race car, there's something going to happen. You can bet one way or the other.
It was once said of Reggie Jackson, or perhaps by Reggie himself, that he was the straw that stirred the drink. Perhaps this man is when it comes to Winston Cup racing.
Oh, yeah. What would a Winston be without Dale Earnhardt in it? I can't imagine.
Well, he's won this race 3 times. The late Davey Allison won it twice, and nobody else has been to victory lane more than once.
Look at them people. You think they don't like him? Well, man, he was brought up 15 miles from here. He's the #1 man in this part of the country.
Grew up at the corner of Coach and Sedan Streets in nearby Kannapolis.
Get out of here.
His father, the late Ralph Earnhardt, NASCAR National Sportsman Champion, Dale worked on his early cars in the basement garage of his mom's house.
Yeah, and they do have a Dale Earnhardt Boulevard over there, too. They're proud of this boy in Kannapolis. Look at all them black marks from the open there.
Yes. Well, we're getting down to it as they form the cars up. Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford of Jack Roush being rolled into position. Of all the finishes in the Winston, perhaps one stands out as the most famous of all. Perhaps this. 1992, the first night under the lights, and the finish that'll long be remembered. It off the corner. He's got the inside. He's up to Earnhardt's bumper.
They're off the racing service down on the flat part of the racetrack.
And it's Kyle Petty. Kyle Petty coming to the checkered flag. Here comes Davey Allison to the bottom. It'll be the finish everybody was waiting for. They crashed past the finish line. They have crashed into turn number 1. And Davey Allison is in a shower of sparks.
He won the race, but he sure paid the price for it.
If you want to know why most NASCAR teams use a Sears Die-Hard battery, just ask a guy who didn't use a Die-Hard. Die-Hard, the official battery of NASCAR. For more power when you need it most.
What, is this your idea of excitement? Let me tell you about exciting, okay? Driving around a racetrack at over 200 miles an hour, that's exciting. These are just flakes.
Well, what do you think?
These are really good. They're crispy, too.
Really?
Yeah, they're mighty good even with nothing on them. What are they?
Hey, Charlie.
Yeah.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes?
How could I be so dumb?
You got 500 miles to think about it.
Kellogg's is proud to sponsor NASCAR champion Terry Labonte.
In 50 years, KFC has never changed the Colonel's chicken. Something that good isn't so easy to improve on, but we found a way. So we're changing it. Now our chicken breasts are a full third bigger than before. So come into KFC and we'll give you more of the taste you love.
Introducing the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. The wet traction of an AquaTread, the performance of an Eagle. 2 aqua channels maximize acceleration, cornering, and braking traction. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Now, this is a song about a traveling man. He worked all of his life, and he's seeing the land. When he needs a place to stay, he gets a room in a flash. He just calls up Choice Hotels and gets that 30% off anywhere you want to go, senior discount, and saves a whole lot of cash.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality Comfort Clarion and Sleep Hotels.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Winston Select on TNN is brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
The drivers are being introduced for tonight's main event. And in great boxing traditions, this one will go 3 rounds. But the final round is the big one. Terry Labonte being introduced to the crowd. One of those T-top Camaros as his car is rolled out onto the starting grid. These first 2 segments, buddy, what do they mean? We all know the race is the final 10-lap shootout, but what do these first 2 segments mean?
Well, one thing you first do is you establish a little dominance, and if you have a dominant car, then you set the pace for everybody else to try to get to. A lot of people abuse their car trying to catch you right at the first there and make adjustments they shouldn't make in between. So it's very important to run well in all the segments.
Now, there's a little added flip to this, because after the first segment, the fans will vote whether to invert the field for the second segment or whether to start the drivers in the order they're running at the end of the first segment.
Well, I tell you, you and I questioned whether that was a real vote or not, but I've seen the boxes today, and that's done by the fans here, and I think that is a plus. I think everybody wants to see great racing, and they make a vote on whether they want to invert the field or not.
Well, let's go down to Randy Pemberton. He's with the driver who finished second in the Winston Select last year.
Well, he'd certainly like to erase that one from last year. Of course, everybody talks about that one. Mark's sitting here chomping at the bit, ready to go. How's the car?
Well, it hadn't run as good as we're used to running here so far, but tonight may be another story. We've been working on the thing since we got here. It's a really nice car. It's brand new. The guys have worked they've put their hearts and souls to this thing. So we're going to wait and see. I believe it'll be pretty good.
Mark, I see guys running around changing air pressure or something. And is that something that is done commonly before a race, or did you all of a sudden say, okay, let's drop it 1? I mean, is there a decision you can make right before without getting in the car?
That's just basically a little bit of extra air in the tires so that you can set them exactly where you want. Right at the last minute, you let them down to exactly where you want, and basically that's what everybody's doing.
Okay, good luck tonight, Mark. Glenn?
Well, standing by with Dale Earnhardt. He's congratulating the Winston Open winner, Jeff Gordon. And, hey, we talked to you before the Open. Now you've had a chance to see the cars. Any thoughts now?
Worried about this kid. I don't know. The 28 car is awful strong. That's the one we're really concerned with. He's been good on long runs and short runs. So it's just going to be an interesting night. Hopefully we're in good shape for the last 10 laps. Win, in the top 4 is where I like to be, and maybe we can race them then.
Well, a question for both of you now. Of course, Jeff had a chance, but there was a lot of concern about whether the Hoosier tires would be so quick for so long. Seems to be answered now.
Well, I think it's sort of evened out, and you know, Jeff's car was working awful strong out there, and I just hope we can get our car working that good a little better.
Any inversion strategy? If the fans vote to invert this thing, any of you guys going to lay back and wait?
You know they're going to vote to invert it, so we'll just have to see what our car's doing. If it goes front, I'm going to be in the front all the time.
It's definitely going to be inverted. We know that. I think my car's really good for about 5-6 laps, so we got to work on a little bit for the next 4 or 5 for that 10-lapper.
All right, folks, see how happy and how friendly these guys are standing here right now? Give them about 10 minutes.
Now, that's another great Saturday night short track tradition, especially and still in the Northeast. They take the fast cars and start them in the rear every Saturday night, so after this first segment, the fans may well vote to invert the field. Here's the pole sitter, Rusty Wallace, whose Buddy Parrott-led crew had that great pit stop in his qualifying run when he ran a couple of great laps to win the pole. Let's go down to Randy Pemberton with Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty here. We talked to Michael Waltrip earlier. His first test with the new sheet metal on the Pontiac. He didn't give it a really good chance to see what would happen. How's your car running? What do you expect here tonight?
I wish I knew. I think, we come with the car under the new configuration with 3 inches and 2 inches or whatever. We're still trying to figure it out. We hadn't been fast since we've been here. Had a great pit stop, and that's what qualified us where we were. Other than that, we'd have been the dead last car. They should have made us start behind the open cars. That's how slow we were. But, hopefully, once they start racing, we'll be pretty good in the 30-lap segments, hopefully. I don't know about the 10-lap segment, though.
Also, you have a chance at halftime or whatever to make adjustments on these cars, so I guess even if you're off, you can fix it.
Oh, yeah, and I'm living proof of that. I mean, in 92, when we came here, we run 17th or 18th in the first segment and led the whole second segment from wire to wire and won that one, and then had a shot at winning the whole thing. So, one adjustment can put you over the top in this race.
Good luck.
We'll be back to meet more of the superstars of stock car racing about to take off in the Winston Select. The Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night continues live on TNN.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
Looks like your car's dead, bud. I ain't the car, Earl. It's the battery. And you got to give me a shot. About 25 miles an hour. I'll start her up. Remember, 25. 3, 4, 25.
Advance Auto Parts has batteries that give you extra cold cranking amps for extra starting power when you really need it.
24, 25.
Thinking about getting a pizza? Yeah. But hey, don't get up. Call Pizza Hut. We'll deliver it. We deliver everything, from the Super Supreme with 9 delicious toppings to the legendary value Bigfoot. Bigfoot! Because we've got just the pizza you want, just the way you want it, and we'll deliver it right to your door. And for the ultimate delivery, Pizza Hut announces the ultimate meat combo. The ultimate combination of 2 types of Italian sausage, thick slices of pepperoni for a huge meaty taste. 1 bite, and there's no going back. Get one delivered today.
You fill me with wonder. You're simple as can be. You're always a comfort. You set my spirit free. You're the part of me that's the heart of me. Dr. Pepper, you're a part of me.
Coming to TNN Motorsports, the Goodwrench 500, the Winston Select, the Budweiser 500, the Champion Spark Plug 500, the Slick 5300, the Splitfire Spark Plug 500, the AC Delco 500, the Slick 5500, Winston Cup 94, get ready.
Who will win the Winston Select? We pose that question to some of the brightest minds in stock car racing. And then we asked our announce team. Let's go down to pit road.
Well, Mike, originally I thought that Jeff Bodine would be the guy to beat. I think he's been sandbagging a little bit, holding back. But also, I got to call a dark horse as Jeff Gordon. Randy?
I can only pick one guy. I'm not going to go too far out on the limb. I'll pick the hottest driver in the series this year. I got to go with Ernie. This car has just been stout. I think it's going to be stout again tonight. I got to go with Ernie Irvan. Mike Joy?
Well, I'm going to go to Buddy Baker.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I can't go away from Dale Earnhardt on this race. It's one of his types of races. That's my pick.
Well, you guys have taken the first 5 choices, but the other fellow I know who is really feeling racy is Rusty Wallace. He's in a Ford this year. He's won this race before. Might just do it again. We'll talk to some more of these fellas as they get ready to roll in the Winston Select right after this word. Stay with us live on TNN for the fireworks.
You want to be champions? Then play like champions. You got to be relentless. You got to be clever. You've got speed. Use it.
One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing.
Genuine Chevrolet.
Some people are naturally faster than others. In fact, everything they do is fast. Fast, 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 fast. Now, not everyone appreciates that. But if you're looking to get a new GM car or truck financed, fast is exactly what you want.
Mac will take care of your financing.
And the folks who arrange GMAC financing and leasing are faster than just about anyone else. GMAC, the expressway home.
You forgot your sunglasses.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Red ball of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. So much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Isn't this a race of red balls of fire?
You could win a trip to the Fast Track Driving School with Bosch Platinum Plugs.
If you're looking for a reliable place to service your car or truck, I've got great news for you.
Now at Pep Boys, $5 rebate on Gabriel Pro Rider shocks. Struts, $10 rebate.
Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
The average person puts 9,000 times the weight of a sumo wrestler on their feet every day. That's why Dr. Scholl's created advanced insoles and inserts to give your shoes revolutionary cushioning and shock absorption. Make life in your shoes more comfortable.
Almost a full moon Saturday night. It sure was a full moon over turn 1 in that 9-car pileup in the Winston Open as we get ready to rumble here in this 3-act opera.
It is that. Look at the people against the fence here looking over at their favorite driver, waving their hats. They run in there and got those old hot dogs and making that smoke up there near the top up there.
This race has a format of 3 segments, 30 laps, and 10 laps for a total of 70 laps or 105 miles. They'll take a 10-minute break between segments where the teams can do normal work on the car as they would in a regular Winston Cup pit stop. One of the fellows who was a pre-race pick had some fast practice laps, and some folks thought he was sandbagging in qualifying. How about it? Let's find out from the starting grid.
Well, this was my pre-race pick, and I'm the guy that said I thought he might be holding back, sandbagging a little bit. Is that true?
No, we haven't been sandbagging. This isn't Daytona Beach. This is Charlotte. There's no sand here in Charlotte.
Okay, no sand, but what about it? You've got an awfully fast car. Turned in one of the fastest laps in your qualifying lap. Got to feel good about it.
Yeah, the car's working good, and, you know, we just saw a race where the Hoosiers looked pretty good out there, so we're hoping that the X-Side 7 runs equally as well as some of those other boys in that other race, maybe just a little bit better.
Okay, we're going to go on down up the line now to Randy Pemberton, who's with Rusty Wallace.
Fans going wild in the background. Rusty's ready in the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. What about it, Rusty? Can you go to victory lane tonight?
We got a good, strong car. I hope we can do it. You know, I'm not feeling concerned about the first 30. I know we'll run good there, but getting from the back of that second 30 to front, we'll see what happens.
You think anybody will sandbag?
I don't know. I think there's a bunch of them back there going to do it. They might be I think there's a lot of cars going to be fighting, trying to get to the back, so I get a good starting spot to start with.
Good luck, Rusty.
Thank you.
Now, they talk about sandbagging. That's where a driver wouldn't run up to his full potential, hoping to finish in the back of the first segment, As you heard Dale Earnhardt say, of course they're going to invert. If the fans vote to invert the running order at the end of the first segment, those drivers who finished in the back would then start up front, and that could be an advantage.
Boy, it's like playing chess, but there's a lot of money involved, and also, let me tell you, anytime $50,000 is up for grabs, those guys are going for it. It don't matter about strategy.
A bit of a wave going on here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we get set for the anthem and the command to fire off this field. 20 of the best in stock car racing. As we said, during the breaks, between segments, the teams will be allowed to add gas, change tires. The booing is because the wave kind of fizzled out about halfway down there. Adjust spoiler angle and add the rubber spring donuts. They cannot change springs, shocks, sway bars, or carburetors. If there's a red flag period, as we've already seen, the teams would be allowed to work on their cars. Among the 100,000 here, Indianapolis Motor Speedway President Tony George is here with four-time 500 winner Rick Mears, who flew in tonight, watching from the condos in Turn 1. Getting set now for presentation of colors. And Linda Davis, who won a Grammy for her hit duet Does He Love You with Reba McEntire. She'll sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last beaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glass of bombs bursting in air gave proof that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Linda Davis with the national anthem, to very much the approval of the crowd. Now the words that over 100,000 folks here have been waiting for.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible national anthem fly-by tonight to the United States Air Force F-15s was performed from the 335th Squadron, 4th Tactical Wing at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base.
And now, what you have waited for all night long, the President and CEO of Davenport Incorporated, Mr. Tommy Davenport.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
At long last, they fire off the engines that'll power the 20 fastest stock car drivers in the nation.
Well, Mike, I'm sure everybody watching this program is ready to see this thing get underway. I'm going to tell you what, it's like waiting on a prize fight or any major event that you go to. This is what everybody comes to see, is this event right now. And I guarantee you one thing, they will not leave disappointed. Terry Labonte's car there.
Ricky Rudd's ready to roll. Let's have a look at the starting lineup for the all-star race, the Winston Select. Rusty Wallace won this in 1989. He won 10 races last season, and already he's won 2 this year. He's on the pole. Ernie Irvan, current Winston Cup point leader with 3 victories, has 3 Winston Selects under his belt. Best finish in this race, 3rd last year. Row 2, Dale Jarrett, last year's Daytona 500 champion, makes his 3rd All-Star appearance, but he's crashed both times out in this event. Row 2, Jeff Bodine, last year's winner at Sears Point to get into the All-Star tilt, won the Daytona 500 in '86, finished 5th in this race last year. Row 3, Terry Labonte, won at North Wilkesboro last month to end a 5-year winless skid. Won this All-Star event in 1988. Outside row 3, Ricky Rudd has won at least one event in each of the last 11 seasons. He's been in every Winston Select. Finished 4th in 1992. Row 4, Bill Elliott won this race in 1986 when it was at Atlanta. 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Outside row 4, Morgan Shepherd, his 8th appearance in this classic. 3 of his 4 career wins have come on the 1.5 mile at Atlanta, very similar to Charlotte. Row 5, Kyle Petty makes his 6th All-Star start. Involved in that last lap shootout 2 years ago with Earnhardt and Allison. Outside row 5, Blake Speed is in his first Winston Select since 1990, former winner at Darlington, currently 7th in the points. Row 6, Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator, the only 3-time winner of this race, 6-time national champion with 11 Charlotte victories. Outside row 6, Mark Martin, winner of 4 straight races last year, a close runner-up to Earnhardt in the final 10-lap shootout in last year's All-Star race. Row 7, Darrell Waltrip won the first Winston in 1985, 3-time Winston Cup champ, 84 career victories. And outside row 7, Sterling Marlin, 2-time winner of the Winston Open, won this year's Daytona 500 to walk his way into the All-Star race tonight. Inside of row 8, Jeff Gordon led the Winston Open last year till he crashed, and this year he took it all. First place prize money and a 15th position start in the Winston Select. Greg Sachs, strong 2nd place finish, will put him in 16th position. Row 9, Ken Schrader missed the 8th row by a foot. He'll start on the inside lane in row 9, former Talladega winner. Jeff Burton, one of the standouts of NASCAR's Busch Series, moves up to the senior circuit and races his way in, as did his brother Ward. Started on the outside pole and earned a last row starting spot in the All-Star tilt, as did Joe Nemechek, the pole sitter for the Winston Open. He will start shotgun on the field in 20th position as the field gets set to roll out behind the pace car. Those are the All-Stars, and this is the event. We'll be back. Aerial fireworks now, on-track fireworks to come. Don't go away.
Spend the evening with Randy.
Suppose I called you up tonight and told you that I love you.
The night belongs to Randy Travis. An evening with Randy Travis and special guests on TNN Wednesday night.
By now, everyone knows that Marine Surplus has just about any part or accessory for your boat, no matter how big or small. And everyone knows that Marine Surplus has over 21,000 square feet of boating supplies in stock. But did you know that Marine Surplus has been in business for over 10 years, and in that time has acquired a knowledgeable, experienced staff who can help you find just what you're looking for, or provide tips on making installation easier. So when you're looking for a part and maybe some helpful advice, think of the friendly people at Marine Surplus. The Great American Road belongs to Buick, and you can travel that road in a 1994 Buick from Conley Buick in Bradenton. Skylark, Century, Regal, LeSabre, Roadmaster, and Park Avenue. Buick, designed to take you where you want to go in style and comfort. Conley Buick, always there for you with service, selection, and price. See all the 1994 Buicks at Conley Buick, where the Great American Road belongs to you.
Pace car has the field in tow for the first of 3 segments on Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night. Those fireworks are nothing compared to what these fireworks are about to look like.
Look at the flash bulbs going off. People want to remember this night, I tell you.
Rusty Wallace on the pole. Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Bodine. The front two rows. And you'll be riding along with Mark Martin. There is the roof cam looking ahead at Lake Speed, and you're on the roof of Mark Martin's car. And over the shoulder cam tonight, there's the cold air tube that goes in to ventilate his helmet. And here's the race cam over his right shoulder that, of course, tilts and fans. For the Valvoline Ford of Mark Martin will have our in-car camera. So will Jeff Bodine. The Exide batteries, Montgomery Ward. Thunderbird. There's the 360-degree race cam. And you'll see the roof cam, much like the driver's own view. And under the rear bumper of Jeff Bodine's car, there's a look back at Ricky Rudd Chevrolet and Terry Labonte on the right side of your screen. Our third in-car camera belongs to Lake Speed, driving for Bud Moore in the Ford Quality Care Thunderbird. Look at the decals on the outside of that car. We'll show you again in a second. There's the roof cam on Lake Speed.
Mike, that camera right there really shows more of what the driver sees than any camera in there.
And if you were riding along in the mother-in-law seat, and I wouldn't want to, that's what you'd see. And also from the rear bumper of Lake Speed's car. John McKenzie of Motorsports Designs does the decals for most of these cars, and they use Scotch-Lite, reflective material, so that these numbers really pop. They really reflect on a lot of these cars. Earnhardt's has them. You see Lake Speed's has them. So do several others. Getting set to go racing in another lap. The first segment of this event is 30 laps, and the leader at the end of segment 1 takes a $50,000 bonus, $15,000 for second, $7,500 for third. Rusty Wallace has already earned $50,000 for winning the pole. His crew got some of that. They were part of that as part of the pit stop. $10,000 to Ernie Irvin for second, and $5,000 to Dale Jarrett, who qualified third. We've got our 800 number working. If you'd like to call in any questions about this telecast or any questions about as the race unfolds, we'll try to get them answered for you. It's a toll-free call, 1-800-451-7331. They'll take your question, relay it to us up here in the booth. Do you think the black car is going to win it?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I picked Dale Earnhardt, but there's a lot of race cars. I'd say out of the top 20 there, anybody could win.
You know, just a note, but it's the first Winston Select without Davey Allison. It's the first Winston Select without our longtime good friend and partner Neil Bonnet alongside. Alan Kulwicki ran well in this race before we lost him, and we just want the folks to know we're going to enjoy this telecast, but we're going to be thinking of them too.
Yeah, they'll always be missed.
They'll always be with us. Announced the winner of the Alan Kulwicki Scholarship here earlier, Ryan Zeck of California. Going to go to UNC at Charlotte. Our congratulations to him. Well, 30 laps. Who will lead the first segment, and will the fans vote to send him to the rear? Let's find out.
Oh, I bet I can almost tell you what that's going to be. Rusty Wallace gets that jump right there on the 28 car of Ernie Irvin.
And we're racing. Wallace, Irvin, the two black cars line up nose to tail. And they'll bring a third, mostly black car with them. That's Dale Jarrett.
You said something a while ago. Earnhardt won 11 races here at Charlotte. That's more than I started out there.
I don't think so. There's Earnhardt in car number 3. Here are your front 4. Put Jeff Bodine in that 4th spot. 4 black cars to lead the field. Tell me it's not nighttime, and that's not significant.
Yeah, you see Dale Jarrett running along there quite well. He said he's really hooked up, and his car is handling perfect for him.
The Interstate Battery Chevy. Former Super Bowl winning coach Joe Gibbs owns that car on the right side of your screen, number 18 for Jarrett. Another second-generation driver. Rusty Wallace on the point, right where he wants to be.
Well, he's going to have to work for that spot because that 28 car has been the fastest car. I've talked to different race car drivers all week long, and everybody's told me the same thing. Watch that 28 car. He's strong after about 5 laps.
The pack has split into 3 segments. There's Morgan Shepherd on the outside of Lake Speed. Morgan and the Sitco number 21 of the Wood brothers, and they hit.
A little touch there.
And Mark Martin takes advantage. You're riding with Mark Martin as he moves up under Lake Speed and moves up underneath Morgan Shepherd, and he's got Earnhardt with him.
Look at Earnhardt. The only reason he didn't make it 3 deep to run out of space.
Car in the wall.
Car in the wall up here.
Lake Speed.
Yep.
And we're under caution. Rusty Wallace leads him back to the flag, and pace car can't get up there with him.
I know Lake Speed's glad. He's got a lot of damage to the right side. They need to beat the fenders off the tires there.
When he and Morgan Shepherd got together, Lake Speed's car pedaled back, and something just wasn't quite right on it. He got up into the wall in turn 3.
Something's rubbing there. He's got a flat tire or something.
Takes it down a gear. You can hear that. Can you hear it? Something rubbing in that car?
Yeah, you see the inside filling up with smoke. He's got something dragging pretty hard underneath the car there.
Former world karting champion from Jackson, Mississippi. He drives for a fellow who has a reputation as tough as nails, but he's a kind-hearted guy, Bud Moore.
Oh, man, I tell you, he was a good man for me to drive for. I've won races with him. I really enjoyed working with him. You see the fire flying out of that car right there? That was
Earnhardt.
That was Earnhardt's car,
There's the
bottoming out a little bit.
Right side of your screen.
That's definitely a right front tire. It looks like it went flat or either a suspension part broke, but he's going up to the wall there. Once he gets in the wall, he does a good job to stay up there until these cars get by. He didn't jerk it off the wall there.
Dale Earnhardt has come to pit road. Right side tires for Earnhardt. Lake Speed is in the pits. So is Joe Nemechek.
You know, Mike, a lot of times, like you see Earnhardt in the pits there, he just felt something wasn't right, and it's better to take a chance and take these tires on than have a problem. They're on the right rear there. They're having a problem with the right rear tire right at the moment on Earnhardt's car. That's Lake Speed's car. They're still working on it. You can see the smoke coming out from under it where it's been dragging all the way around the racetrack. They're beating the fenders out there.
Earnhardt's away after getting right side tires. One more lap will go racing.
Yeah, it's getting pretty serious for Lake Speed. That car needs about a full lap of work before it's really ready to go back in there.
And it's not going to get it as the light is out on top of the safety car.
I'll tell you what, Earnhardt and them are really going to have to get with it. They're about a half a lap behind right now. We got another lap to go.
The light was out on top of the safety car, but the caution flag still waves. So now we'll go 1 to go. So Earnhardt, you don't think the fans like this? Chance to watch Earnhardt come from all the way in the back to all the way in the front? Oh, here's another new wrinkle for this race. Double file restart. Let's show you in real
double
time.
Double file restart.
Yeah. Let's show you in real time what Lake Speed saw.
Well, he's right on the bottom. They make their touch there. Now, that probably done just enough damage to knock a toe in out, maybe cut that right front tire down on a little bit of jagged metal off the 21 car Morgan Shepherd. He goes down in the corner here. You can see right there, it goes up, hits the wall, holds it up there, luckily. If he'd have come across the racetrack, somebody would have removed the left side sheet metal for him.
I'll bet it felt a lot harder than it sounded. Randy is in Dale Earnhardt's pit. Randy?
Well, they didn't want to say exactly what they did to the car, but all they, I talked to Richard Childers just briefly, just said they wanted to bring it in. Wasn't exactly right, so they went ahead and changed tires. I asked them if they stuck a rubber in the right rear. It was kind of like a no comment, so I really don't think they did. They pulled some tape off the grill, buddy.
Okay, what they might have had there, if they had a lot of tape on the front, it might have been getting planted too hard and making the car loose, so it might put a little tape off like that to make the front end a little bit lighter.
We'll find out as we go back to green. 6 laps complete. This is a 30-lap segment. first of 3 rounds. Ernie Irvan goes for the lead on the high side.
Whoa, there's contact there between Rusty Wallace.
Watch Dale Jarrett in the green and black car take advantage on the bottom. Ricky Rudd is right with him in the tied ride, and here comes Mark Martin, 3 wide. You're with Mark Martin.
Mike, what you're seeing there is just loss of momentum. He lost about 5 spots there, just getting back up to speed again.
Look at those cars dance around. They are right on the edge of control at nearly 180 miles an hour.
See Sterling Marlin moving there with Jeff Gordon. Jeff trying to make a pass on the inside there. Right behind him, Darrell Waltrip's moving up.
Waltrip with 17. Marlin's in the yellow number 4 car, the Kodak car. Jeff Gordon has come from 15th to 9th.
Well, he must be handling a little bit hard right now because a lot of cars that were in the Winston Open are passing him there on the outside going in the corner.
Running order at 8 laps. Morgan Shepherd and Kenny Schrader moving up. Now here's Mark Martin. You're riding in the Valvoline Ford.
Well, that car is getting in the corner, Mike. That's exactly what it looks like, folks. That's the actual time there. When you used to go down in the corner, that's what it looks like when you're gaining on the car in front of you.
Back straightaway and look at those cars work on the suspension, up and down.
Yeah, the suspension's working, the sheet metal's working, the driver's working, everybody's working right now. Look at his head when he goes in the corner here. I guarantee you it'll look like he's doing the Watusi.
Rusty Wallace going to drop a spot to Jeff Gordon here. He's fallen to the tail end of the front pack. And that puts him in 9th place.
Are they inverting or not? Have we got the vote yet?
They don't want to tell them.
Oh, I see. That's a little halftime tell-all.
After the segment, they'll announce the results of the voting. Up on the high side, Sterling Marlin in the Morgan McClure Racing number 4.
Now, that is definitely a power move there. And anytime you can pass a car here on the outside and going through the corner, you have a good handling race car. So the fast way is right on that white line around the bottom.
And he takes Jeff Gordon along with him. It is now an 11-car breakaway. Darrell Waltrip tacked onto that pack.
I tell you, Sterling Marlin right now, he's probably the most improved position car in the race. He is moving right on up to the front. You see, that's Jeff Godine's car on the outside there. I think he sees the presence of the 4 car there.
Morgan Shepherd and Kenny Schrader battle. Now that's in the 2nd pack. 2nd pack, Schrader, number 25, came out of the Winston Open. So did 31. Ward Burton, that's Bill Elliott up high in Junior Johnson's Ford, the Budweiser number 11. And there's Earnhardt. Right in the middle of that pack. He's come from the back after a pit stop. Side by side, Ward Burton's Hardy Chevy and the Bud Ford.
Ooh, look at Earnhardt coming up on the outside there. Woo.
Trouble,
we got a straightaway down the front straightaway here.
Jeff Bodine came down the whole front straightaway backwards.
Whoa.
He gets it stopped. Now he can breathe. So can we.
Wow, we're going to break. We'll be back in a few minutes, folks. Woo.
We'll have a look at it when we come back. Caution is out.
When a ball player breaks his bat, he gets a new bat. When a driver blows an engine, the game is over. So when Ernie Irvan runs Haviland Formula 3 motor oil in his engine, it's not because we painted our name on his car. It's because he doesn't want the game to be over until he says it's over. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
Hi, I'm Joe Gibbs. You know, as an NFL coach and a NASCAR owner, I've always tried to get the best talent behind me. So when I got Nutmeg Mills together with Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett, I knew we'd have a winner. It's Nutmeg's official NASCAR collection for race fans who want to stand out from the crowd. Now, if I could just get some of these drivers behind me during the race.
Official NASCAR apparel by Nutmeg Mills. Available at fine stores everywhere.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
This Goodyear Aqua Tread pumps away over a gallon of water every second with its Deep Groove Aqua Channel. That's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. the all-season AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
I found that everything I use it for just increases the power. It's like getting an engine option.
America is talking about Splitfire.
It was just unbelievable how it ran and how much better gas mileage was. I had heard about the plugs, and everybody said they were great, and I tried it myself, and it did increase my gas mileage.
And it runs just like a brand new engine. I mean, it's got power just like if it was brand new right off the showroom floor. They're the best plugs I ever put in my cars.
Splitfire. At $5.99, it only costs more till you use it.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Winston Select on TNN is being brought to you by Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
Dale Earnhardt completes a pit stop under the caution. They changed, I believe, 4 tires this time.
Mike, what probably happened, he may have a little bit of a tire out of adjustment or something, or the balance in this bamming around on him, and he's just got the time right now. He don't have that many positions to move back to the rear, so he's just coming in trying to get that car right.
Now they're trying to get it really racy for these next couple of segments. Let's show you what happened to Jeff Bodine in the number 7 car. That's Sterling Marlin in yellow.
Okay, Jeff looks like he's coming over there. They make contact right here, right against the wall there. You see the 4 car? They just barely touch. Now the 4 car
kept coming.
Yeah. Well, you know, you don't know what to do in a situation like that. When a car turns sideways like that, a lot of times you're better off to help him get on out of the way than to just collect everybody that's in that wad there.
Now, let's show you, is it rear bumper or is it thumper cam?
Okay, right here is where they make contact. He did not see him on the outside there and pulled over, and that's all it takes, folks.
We're not moving the camera, folks. That's the car going around. Here comes a 175-mile-an-hour lawnmower and almost gets trashed there.
Mike, that's the one I don't like to see. That one when they're sitting still there. As long as they're moving fast, it don't really hurt that much. But when you're stopped and everybody else is still running 185 miles an hour, that's dangerous.
So Jeff Bodine flat-spotted the tires, came in and got 4 new ones, and is again ready to roll. No damage to that car.
You know, that's the only blind spot in the race car is coming out of the corner on the right rear corner over there. You really have to watch that corner.
We have 15 laps complete in this first segment, halfway. We'll be right back. Tell you what, let's stay with it here because in one lap we're going to go racing. We'd intended to go to break, but we want to show you the racing under green, so let's hang with it here. Now Jeff Bodine comes back in, and so does Lake Speed for a little more work. They'll tack on to the back end of the field. And let's get an update on pit stops. Here's Randy.
Well, besides Jeff Bodine, of course, Lake Speed in that first wreck, they had a tow-out problem on the front of the car, so they were trying to adjust that. Now they're working on the rear of the car. Dale Earnhardt was also in, 4 new tires on that car. Evidently, the car possibly bottoming out. We'll try and get a word with Richard Childress or Andy Petrie about that. Rusty Wallace also in, 4 tires for Rusty Wallace, a round of wedge out. That car is pushing, Rusty's car.
Thanks, Randy. We're working the second caution. Just completed now. This one for Jeff Bodine's spin down the front stretch. First one was for Lake Speed's crash at lap 4 up in turn 3. Let's get a report on Jeff Bodine's car. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, after the spin, they came in and changed all 4 tires and bumped the rear spoiler up. Jeff was complaining that the car was a little bit loose before that spin. Also, this time he came in, they took some tape off the grill, so evidently had a pretty loose condition on the race car. That should have tightened it up some. We'll see shortly.
Thanks, Glenn. 2 Fords and 2 Chevys in the front rows. Ernie Irvin and Dale Jarrett lined up. In row number 2, Ricky Rudd with Mark Martin, then Sterling Marlin. And look where Jeff Gordon has come all the way up to 6th place.
I'd say he's on the move. Wow. There, the Bonnie's car got a little sideways. I think you're having a little traction problem there. That's what Prater said. He broke loose a little bit on the restart a while ago.
On the outside of Ricky Rudd, making the move and coming up a spot, Mark Martin.
Guy that's not running well, he's doing pretty well, isn't he?
He looked like the Grimace before the race. Here comes Earnhardt. He just blew past Jeff Burton and Ken Schrader. Earnhardt in black, number 3.
You know, Mike, Earnhardt, his whole crew has been together so long that they communicate so well. They can make adjustments during a race and just absolutely take the cars out of the ballpark and put it right up front.
In one lap, Earnhardt came from 18th to 12th on first tire. Make that 11th.
That's about par for him. He's on his way, folks. He needs to drive it in the corner just a little bit harder. What do you think?
I think out the other side if he does, but he gets past Morgan Shepherd here. Now here comes Shepherd right back by him.
I just fixing to say, that's two hard driving rascals right there together. I'll guarantee you one thing. It won't be as easy to do as you think.
Those two raced hard together in late model sportsman, now Busch Grand National Racing. Earnhardt takes the spot. Jeff Gordon moves up to 5th. Ricky Rudd in a Ford drops to 6th. Here comes Darrell Waltrip on the bottom.
Easy.
10 laps to go in this first segment. The leader at the end of this segment, $50,000.
See Ward Burton moving in there with Darrell and those guys. He seems to be hooked up very well. He's passing Ricky Rudd now on the inside through the number 2 corner there.
Right, Ward Burton came up from the Winston Open. There's Terry Labonte battling Ricky Rudd and taking a spot. Here comes Bill Elliott.
And Earnhardt, look where Earnhardt's come to already. He's trying to get on the inside of Bill Elliott right now.
Earnhardt is 11th. He restarted 18th. This time the pack is split in 2 sections. Well, 3 sections. Ernie Irvan, then everybody else, then the second pack.
You know, I was watching Bill Elliott just then. He's running a little bit higher in line, but he seems to get more momentum off the corner. He pulled away from Earnhardt just a little bit off the corner there.
Earnhardt after him now. Bill Elliott, number 11. That red Ford. And Dale Earnhardt. Combined, they have 4 wins in the 9 years of this race. 3 for Earnhardt, 1 for Elliott.
That's 2 of the best right there. Bill Elliott, you watch him now. Off this corner, he's got that momentum. It's going to take a pretty fair race car to get by him on the bottom there.
Now, these drivers are 3.5 seconds behind race leader Ernie Irvan, whose Robert Yates Haviland Ford has taken a walk out front. Battle for 3rd place. Sterling Marlin gets around Mark Martin.
And there's Jeff Gordon moving in, trying to get under. He won't make it this time, though.
Now that's in the first pack of cars behind Irvan. Dale Jarrett has got a little margin on this group. They're way in the distance. You see Ernie Irvan from Mark Martin's car.
Sterling Marlin said he had a good race car. He wasn't kidding anybody, I'll tell you that.
Well, 3rd, 4th, and 5th here. 2nd place way out front. That'll be Dale Jarrett. Ernie Irvan. 6 laps to go in this first segment. There's Darrell Waltrip, Ward Burton, Labonte, Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, and Ricky Rudd battle now for 10th place.
I noticed Ricky's left side when he come down the straightaway then threw a little bit of spark. I don't know whether he might be having a little bit of handling problems or what.
He worked his way up to the front, and now he's dropping back just a bit. 5 to go in this first segment as you watch from our Ray Vestas aerial platform. Best in Brakes bringing you these views. Oh, Elliott and Earnhardt are going at it.
Oh, well, they've done it many a time here. The pass in the grass with these 2 guys you're looking at right here, the famous...
That it was. Now, let's look from this group back up to the leader. There's Ernie Irvan, bottom of your screen. Not quite a quarter of a lap ahead. Now, behind Irvan, the race for 2nd is a strong one. They have caught Dale Jarrett in the Interstate Batteries car.
2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th is a good race. It could go any way right now.
Sterling Marlin in the Kodak Chevy draws a bead on Dale Jarrett.
I know Dale Jarrett's got to be happy that his car is working as well as it is. They had a good qualifying time, but I'll tell you, this 4 car is a rocket ship down the straightaway.
They're 1.5 seconds behind Ernie Irvan, and Marlin powers into 2nd place.
And did it the hard way on the outside there.
3 laps to go in this first segment. Leader, when they drop the flag, it's $50,000. Marlin started 14th. Had a man over the wall on his pit stop. It would have been further up. Mark Martin on the bottom. You see him loosen up. Dale Jarrett just a bit there.
Well, anytime you get up under the back of that car, it's just like putting a shovel under the back and lifting up on it. It sure makes them loose. If you're at least bit loose, it'll make it twice as bad.
2 laps to go. And they'll wave the caution to end this first segment.
Ernie Irvin in this deal?
I don't recall.
I don't either, but I tell you one thing, it's a pretty solid bet on this first deal.
Whoever had first pick, I think, picked Ernie Irvin. I think that was Randy. No, he picked Jeff Bodine. Glenn Jarrett picked Irvin. Did he not? Caution next time by. That's the planned caution to end the first 30-lap segment. Ernie Irvin. Remember last October when he led all but, 8 laps to win a 500?
Boy, this is an awesome combination right here. That's an awfully good race car. Has been for years that they got a good race car driver in there.
Ring the cash register, $50,000 to Ernie Irvin. Sterling Marlin picks up $15,000. Bill Elliott there just barely holds off, tied number 10 of Ricky Rudd for a position behind Dale Earnhardt. And that is the first 30-lap segment. Remember, we run 30, 30, and 10. Now, Lake Speed is the last car running, and if the fans have voted to invert the field, he will restart up front, and this man will go to the back. We'll be back to Charlotte Motor Speedway after this.
Protect to the max. Performax. Pennzoil's most advanced synthetic motor oil. For cold engine starts, Performax flows when the engine goes. On hot engine parts, Performax keeps it cool, keeps on protecting. Performax from Pennzoil protects to the max. Now buy Performax and get up to a $6 rebate. Details at participating locations.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
A safari rarely lasts longer than a few weeks. Unless it's a safari maintained with genuine AC oil filters. Because over hill, dale, and wadi, no other filter can track down, trap, and capture more dirt. So, AC oil filters keep your engine on the hunt for a longer life.
Call 1-800-AC-DELCO. It's like buying time. Save up to $11.60 on AC plugs and filters. And enter AC Delco's Brickyard 400 sweepstakes.
This is the perfect time to try my new Polaroid Captiva.
Hey. Where's the picture? There's no picture? How can it be a Polaroid camera if there's no picture?
The Polaroid Captiva. The pictures stay in till you take them out.
Maybe if you shake it.
Yeah, shake the camera.
The time has come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. It's so quick and easy, it can cut painting time in half. So get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
We're back live at the Winston Select. Stock Car Racing's All-Star Night at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it'll be a short night for us. We're going to fly up to Nazareth, Pennsylvania, so we can bring you live from Nazareth the Meridian Advantage 200 Busch Grand National Race. Kenny Wallace is on the pole next to David Green. Dirk Stevens qualified third next to Mike McLaughlin, and Jason Keller is fifth. That's a doubleheader up there with the NASCAR Modifieds. Jeff Fuller and last year's winner Tim Connolly on the front row ahead of Rick Fuller, Jan Leedy, and the great dirt driver Doug Hoffman. We'll be at Nazareth tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you'll join us then on TNN Motorsports. 8 minutes, 50 seconds left before the start of the next 30-lap segment. Let's update you. Michael Waltrip is at the hospital. They have x-rayed and found the tip of his right scapula. His shoulder is broken. Loy Allen is sore He's in X-ray, but he's joking with everybody, so I would guess he doesn't have a broken rib, would you?
Well, they're X-raying him for broken ribs, and you'll cut up for a couple hours. But if he's got broken ribs, he don't have to be X-rayed. He'll know it pretty quick.
Right. You can tune in for all the news and updates on Inside Winston Cup Racing and Race Day tomorrow. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett with the fellow who has just picked off $50,000 for leading the first segment.
And it looked like a pretty easy $50,000. That didn't look like any trouble at all. Not making light of what you did, but car looks like it's flawless.
Car's really good. It's a little loose right now, so we're going to try to tighten it up just a little bit and see if we can make it a little better. You know, some of them guys started coming from the back, and we're pretty strong, so we're going to try to make it a little faster.
Well, they're going to work on the body, too. They got some damage to the left side door. They got to get in there right now, so I'm going to let those guys get to work because they got hammers and big tools that can hurt me.
They got damage? How'd anybody catch him? I don't understand. Ernie Irvin just took off and went.
I really enjoyed it.
That's Buddy talking to Linda Davis, who sang the national anthem. Well, let's see, 100,000 people. You played before 100,000 people?
She played in front of 1 million or so. I seen her on the Donahue show the other day. You were incredible. I loved it.
We're going to be right back and talk a little more here on TNN as they get ready to roll the second segment of the Winston Select. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds out. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire faster than lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunder claps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a longer life.
Call 1-800-AC-DELCO. It's like buying time. Save up to $11.60 on AC plugs and filters. And enter AC Delco's Brickyard 400 sweepstakes.
Now when you buy a case of quality Valvoline motor oil, you can send away for a Valvoline T-shirt.
Honey, can you pick up some milk?
Okay.
And become a member of the Valvoline Performance Team. Join the team, and you'll feel like you're right in the middle of the action. So buy a case and get a shirt, plus great deals on Valvoline racing gear and a lot more.
Honey, did you get some milk?
People who know use Valvoline. Also available with Mark Martin NASCAR design.
That old lawn equipment again.
Last year he nearly jerked me up by the roots.
Wait a minute. All new home light equipment.
I told you he knows a great value when he sees one.
Look, it's a home light blower and a string trimmer.
Yes.
A home light hedge trimmer and chainsaw and a new home light mulching mower.
I love it when he gets environmental.
Just a little off the top, please. Do it right. Do it home light.
See the new home light smooth operator system today for guaranteed easy starts.
Next week on TNN Country News, Southwest is the scene for Sawyer Brown's new video, and Tracy Lawrence becomes a hometown hero for a day.
TNN Country News, weeknights.
Get ready! Speedway, the South's fastest short track. DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track, has something for you every Saturday night. And it's awesome. Late model sportsman, open wheel modified, straight stock, modified minis, your stock minis, and a limited schedule of pro figure 8. Always free parking and great food at DeSoto Speedway.
Stock car racing at its finest every Saturday night at 7 p.m. sharp. Great affordable family fun. 8 miles east, I-75 on State Road 64. Be there.
Look closely. Can you tell where this car's beautiful finish was severely damaged, then repainted at a DuPont Assurance of Quality Repair Center? Okay, here's a clue. DuPont, we make problems disappear.
Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where all the exciting action of the Winston Select is being taken place here tonight. The first 30-lap segment is finished. Dale Earnhardt, of course, won this race several times. He's had a little bit of a problem this evening. He came in 9th in that first segment, and they've made a lot of adjustments on the car. Dale, it's showtime now, though, going back to the front.
Well, I don't know. We've adjusted the car so real tight and right in the center, and hadn't been this tight all week. So we'll adjust on it, and I think we've got a handle on it. Hopefully we'll be all right for this next 30-lap segment. And fine-tune it for the 10. We're ready to go.
Why do you think it got tight? Is it because it got cooler at night and you guys haven't really raced under these type of conditions so far?
Well, it wasn't that tight last night when we practiced, and you know, the tracks had more rubber put on it from races, so maybe that's it. Maybe the track's just tightening up.
Okay, I believe Dale Earnhardt will be going in the front, folks. Let's go up to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Randy, you see the work going on under Jeff Bodine's car right now. That's the right front fender brace that they're replacing. When Jeff spun down through the grass, he lost the fender brace. They're having to put a new one on it, causing the fender to lift up a little bit, causing the car to push. Jeff, any other problems with the car other than the fender brace?
That seems to be our biggest problem right now. That fender was going in. We're losing all our front downforce, making the car push pretty bad. Hopefully they can get it tied out there somehow, so we get... These cars are real critical on how you balance the airflow over the front and the back, and with that fender moving in, it was just too much on the back, not enough on the front.
Before the wreck, could you tell how was the car working?
Well, it's pretty good. It got just a little loose right before I got turned around, but I felt like it was going to start coming back in. That's a characteristic of these tires. Run good, loosen up a little bit, and then go again.
Still think the Hoosier tires have got it for the end of this thing?
Well, I hope we can get a good start spot in that last 10. We'll give it our best shot.
Back to you, Mike.
The 1986 winner of the Daytona 500, Jeff Bodine. High atop Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Speedway Club. Folks get dinner and a view.
Oh, we did last night, as a matter of fact. It was excellent.
Yeah, with the Manaforts from Connecticut running their Legends cars and having a good time. And quite the way to see stock car racing. And with us up here in the booth, brand new fan to the sport. As you look at the Turn 1 condos, Linda Davis, who sang the national anthem. First off, great job, but
thank you.
Your first view of this sport.
And is it not the best in town? I tell you what, this has been so exciting. I'm a fan for life now.
You know, well, what was your impression of the sport before you came to see it? What'd you think of stock car?
I didn't realize how fast those cars were going till I got down there on the track. Boy, I didn't really have an opinion. I thought those guys are very brave, but aren't they focused? Those looking at them, you know, in their cars while they were being interviewed, they are really thinking and concentrating, aren't they?
Well, I'm sure you know that from being a performer, being up on stage and performing in front of thousands of people, you need to maintain that focus. Of course, you don't have to worry about that concrete wall.
The danger is not there on stage like it is for these gentlemen.
So now you're a fan for life.
I am a fan and a friend to some of them. I got to talk down earlier, and that is, they're special people.
Glad to have you with us.
I am thrilled to be here. Can you tell?
Yes.
May the best one win and be safe.
Thanks for joining us.
We wish you the best in your recording.
Thank you so much.
We've long said that as the clock winds down. If you can come to a stock car race, you'll be a fan for life. Getting set to refire the cars and roll them out for the second segment. Let's go back to Glenn.
Mike, one car that didn't refire was the number 5 car of Terry Labonte. This is Gary Dehart, the crew chief. Gary, what happened?
Well, what happened was the transmission, third gear come out of the transmission. We think it might have busted a case because we got a little fluid leaking on the track. So rather try to restart the race and tear the car all to heck. We're just going to withdraw it, park it, fix it for next week. It's a good car. We was running pretty good, but the transmission messed up, and that's just, we're out for the night.
Sorry for the problem. Now let's go down to Randy.
Well, also Lake Speed, they're wondering if they're going to start this next segment. He was involved in that first accident. They still have a tow-out problem in the front end. They're still working on that. They say the track bar is also bent. Of course, a lot of damage on the right-hand side of this car, possibly a fluid leak as well. So this team, all over this car, they've got like 0 seconds to get this car back to the line. There's a possibility they may not get back out there to start the second segment.
Car owner Bud Moore will celebrate 50 years as a veteran of D-Day at Dover in June, be honored by many of his four-number drivers, including you.
Yeah, I tell you what, he certainly deserves anything that they might possibly. I hope they can get this car fixed because it will be on the pole for this second segment if they can get it. He is rolling towards the start-finishing line right now.
As Terry Labonte rolls into the garage. Here's our Napa Field summary to show you how they will start restart this second segment. They did vote to invert the field. No surprise there. So Lake Speed and Greg Sachs, no surprise there, will be on the front row. They'll be in Fords. Kyle Petty's Pontiac and Ken Schrader's Chevy in row 2. Row number 3, Jeff Bodine and Rusty Wallace in Ford Thunderbirds. Row number 4, Joe Nemechek's Chevy, who started last, and Morgan Shepherd's Thunderbird. Row 5, Jeff Burton and Ricky Rudd. They're both driving Fords. Row 6, Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt side by side. Row 7 would be Terry Labonte and Ward Burton, but with Labonte out, everybody else moves up a spot. Then Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Gordon in Chevys. Mark Martin's Ford and Dale Jarrett Chevrolet. Then in row 10, Sterling Marlin and the leader at the end of segment 1, Ernie Irvan, who has $50,000, and what it bought him was a spot in the back for the restart.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, after this segment's over, they start heads up the way they finish this segment, so there's a lot of strategy here. I've heard that Kyle Petty's car has been running super good. The one thing I am concerned about, though, Mike, they said the 15 car was losing a little bit of fluids. Let's hope not, because everybody's behind him.
That's right. Lake Speed is on the pole as you watch from the Ray Bestis helicopter-mounted camera. Best in Brakes. Thanks, Ray Bestis, for helping provide these pictures. Interesting questions on our 800 line. Stephanie from Illinois wanted to know how many cameras TNN has tonight. 17 if you count each of the in-cars as one camera. And Lake Speed is down on the track apron and may be going to the rear. Now in this second segment, again it's 30 laps, and the leader at the end of segment 2 gets $50,000. And the way they are running at the end of segment 2 is the way they will start for the finish. Lake Speed will restart this race of his own choice at the rear.
Boy, that's a good move on their part. Find out whether it's right or not. Don't start in front of this crowd with a problem.
1 to go. Question from Ricky in Florida on our 800 line. Where's Elmo Langley?
Right out there in the pace car.
Driving the pace car out front. Okay. Let's get an update on the cars that will restart in the back. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, the car starting last, the 28 car, other than Lake Speed now. Ernie Irvan, believe it or not, they thought they could improve the car. They took a little bit of bite out of the car, tried to, or put a little bit of bite in the car, tried to tighten it up just a little bit. Also, the 18 car of Dale Jarrett, they took some bite out of it, and also they stiffened up the front springs, having a little bit of problem getting in the corner. It was a little tight getting off, so they adjusted both ends of that race car. We'll see if it works.
Now, when they say they took some bite out,
that means they loosened it up. And if they put it in, that means they're tightening it up by making the left rear stronger or softer. That's what you do. You raise it or lower it to make it push or loosen the car up. That's a little technical talk, folks, but what it means is you're fixing a problem you have. The 4 car, if they done anything to it, they ought to be whipped.
Hey, Josh from Arkansas has a question. You know, all the new cars have these new center high-mounted brake lights in the rear window. He says, why don't these cars have them?
Boy, this bunch right here would have you scared to death all night long. If they had brake lights on these things, they'd drag that left foot on it down halfway down the straightaway. You'd think there's a wreck in front of you, and you'd have some wrecks on the racetrack.
Basically, the drivers have a pretty good sense of when everybody else is on the brake.
Okay, what they do, if there's a real problem in front, they'll put their hands up and wave like that, and they don't play with that, but you would if you had some little device like a brake light.
We're getting set for the second 30-lap segment. This will be followed by the 10-lap shootout for $200,000. Kyle Petty, Terry Labonte's car in the garage. Lake Speed at the tail end of the field.
Right now, the left knee's jumping just a little bit. It'll get all smoothed out when the green flag's out.
And it's about to be. Holding them down for the restart.
Wow.
Kyle Petty has a big jump there. Off to turn 1, and we are under green. Kyle Petty leads this field. Greg Sachs right with him. Jeff Bodine in third. Kenny Schrader up high in fourth. Rusty Wallace in fifth. Morgan Shepherd down on the bottom, and then number 21 of the Wood Brothers. Sachs to the front.
Wow.
What happened to Kyle Petty? A lot of shuffling of the pack. Earnhardt moving up. You're with Mark Martin down on the bottom behind Bill Elliott. something wrong with Kyle Petty's car. Well, they used to say in the modified ranks when this fella got in front that they were having a side-by-side Rudd on the bottom. Nemechek up high. Here comes 3 wide. Mark Martin's going to stuff it into turn 3 abreast.
Yeah, well,
I think Ricky Rudd made the right move there. He pedaled it going into that corner.
Yes, he did. We're having a little audio problems right now, but you can see one thing for sure. The 28 car is absolutely flying. I thought the 4 car might have something for the car of Ernie Irvin's, but he is not able to keep up.
Apologize for audio difficulties in the transmission. First time Greg Sachs has ever led the All-Star race. Ricky Rudd in number 10 and Bill Elliott battle side by side.
You see Ernie Irvin moving up there, and it looked...
And at second place, Ken Schrader's gone around the outside of Jeff Bodine.
The big part is the number 2 car has moved back into about 4th spot now. I mean, he's having a hard time of it. He was all the way up in the 2nd, and he slid back to 4th right now. Rusty told me he thought he had a really good car.
You're with Jeff Bodine as he runs down Kenny Schrader up in turn 3. Look at Schrader get up the racetrack.
Well, I think what we have now, we have a move around because it seems the outer groove was coming in just a little bit ago when Bill Elliott was moving around.
Single file, Greg Sachs is now checked out on the field. And Jeff Gordon moves around Ricky Rudd in the number 24 DuPont car.
That's Ward Burton there in the middle. You see Sterling having to go at it with Jeff Gordon there.
And here's Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine, nose to tail for 3rd place. Their 2nd place, Kenny Schrader, coming into the picture.
You see Morgan Shepherd moving in there also. He's really having a good run. That car seems to be set. And I tell you, if these cars can just stay like they are, they're going to have a tremendous advantage over cars back in the field when they go for this last segment.
From the back of Bodine's car, looking over the black Ford of Rusty Wallace.
Well, apparently whatever was wrong with the toe end on the 7 car, they fixed it during that little break there.
There's your front 5, back through Morgan Shepherd. Long gap back to that next pack. They're a little deep in it. You have Nemechek, Elliott, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton, and Ricky Rudd.
See Sterling Marlin using that low line through the corner there. Now watch Bill Elliott, just momentum off.
And Rusty Wallace moves around Jeff Bodine. And that'll put Wallace up into 3rd. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Earnhardt's moved around a pack of cars, including Ernie Irvin and Mark Martin. Oh, 3 wide. Gordon moves up a notch.
It don't take it long to get back to 2 wide when they start in that corner. You think you're brave until you look at that wall coming at you, and you'll get that 3rd lane back in position.
That's right. So now, Schrader has run down the race leader.
There goes Jeff Burton up inside the 11 car Bill Hayes.
At the front, Kenny Schrader's there.
Boy, is that impressive. Sachs had pulled out about a 25-car length lead there, and Schrader run him down in about 4 laps.
Schrader's got more second-place finishes in this event than anybody, but he has yet to win it. Ernie Irvin on the bottom. Ward Burton is the meat in the sandwich. You can't buy that one at Hardee's. He just slipped out of it. And right back in it. They're still 3 wide.
Whoa, whoa, boys. Uh-oh, there we go.
Tough break for the rookie, Ward Burton. He goes down through the grass, spins it around. Thought he had it saved, and around he goes again. Caution flag.
Lock it down.
Now the leaders have not gotten the caution, but Kenny Schrader has gone to the lead. They will come around and get the caution flag this time. In NASCAR Winston Cup racing, the restart lineup is determined by how they come to the caution flag after the incident.
Right. Well,
so now the lineup will freeze with Schrader in front, Sachs in second, Wallace in third, Bodine fourth, Morgan Shepherd fifth, and Ernie Irvin moved around Dale Earnhardt in sixth.
Even though the caution lights were out, Mike, the biggest thing you got to remember is they have spotters up here, and they say, okay, it's clear through there.
So Ward Burton gets back running again, and we are under caution. We'll be right back.
There's one thing that a racing engine and a street engine have in common. You want them both to last.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
To build a race engine that holds up, you have to use the best of everything, and Haviland does that job.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer. Good enough for Robert Yates.
Well, how hard do you want me to push it today? Whatever it takes to win.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and to me. And there's no place that I'd rather be. Come on along and head for the mountains of Bushmere. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth, and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushmere.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Introducing the new Goodyear Eagle AquaTread for performance sedans. The wet traction of an AquaTread, the performance of an Eagle. 2 aqua channels maximize acceleration, cornering, and braking traction. The new Eagle AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Winston Select on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
For under caution, they went into the corner 3 wide. Ward Burton was in the middle, and things happened. Ernie Irvin on the bottom, Dale Earnhardt up high.
Okay, Dale was in perfect spot there. They just got together pretty much as Jeff Bodine did a while ago. Now, he was real lucky right here. You see the flaps fly up to keep that car down on the ground, keep it from flying. But he's real lucky right here that he didn't see him lock the rear wheels there. He turned the brake loose there and almost made a mistake. He should have locked her down right there and let it slide, which he did here, and it holds it down.
I think he might have thought he had it saved, but he still had one wheel spinning on the grass, and around it went. What kind of contact was there up here, buddy?
Okay, this is just 3 cars racing very hard. You see Ward Burton there. He thinks he's clear of Earnhardt, but he didn't. They made a little contact there, and that's all it takes. That car is very light over that bump there. Now, you talk about somebody lucky with Mark Martin. He almost collected that wreck.
In the 6th car.
Right.
And let's show you it as Mark Martin saw it. Watch the 2 cars on the right.
Okay, you'll see what we're talking about right here. The Ward thinks he's passed it. Whoop. He got a little sideways there on his own.
And then just brushes the left front corner of Mark Martin's car. 1 lap and we'll go racing. Pace car, to answer Richard's question from Canada, moving at 55 miles an hour around the speedway here. Brian from Georgia, who's new to the sport, wants to know how they decided the format for this race. Well, kind of by trial and error the first few years. They ran it as 100 laps straight and then decided on this 3-round format. It's not a circus, it's an auto race.
You see Ward Burton there stopped on the inside of the racetrack here. Right in the middle of 4 down here.
And we'll stay under caution a lap, it looks like.
He's got her fired up again and moving on his own power.
They set up this race, or this format, for the fans. To give a race that the fans would enjoy and long remember, and so far it's worked.
You know, I like his double restart, too. I think that adds a little flavor to it, but it's not a 3-ring circus. This is a special event, folks, and I'll tell you something. You talk about hard-nosed racing, it's right here.
Ward Burton stopped because his seatbelt came unbuckled, had to fasten himself back up. Ballard from California noticed that Jeff Gordon got this work on his car during the red flag. That's normally not allowed, but it is in this race. Because it's an all-star race, and it's a special event, the fans want to see all the drivers out there. As much as they can work during the red flag.
If I told you this is the first lap that Kenny Schrader's ever led in the Winston Select, I can't hardly believe it, but we got a man up here that knows it all, and that's the first lap that Kenny Schrader has ever led. He's been second 3 times.
And on the restart, it's Greg Sachs as Schrader doesn't come up to speed quite so quickly. He loses second. Wow. Jeff Bodine. Now Schrader, is he up to speed in that 25 car?
Not quite yet. You know, he had a terrible restart a while ago. I see somebody falling back through the pack there.
As Earnhardt came underneath him 3 wide.
Yeah, that'd be a good reason to fall back.
Joe Nemechek drifting back a bit.
Ooh.
Rusty.
Earnhardt and Rusty.
Oh, no.
Oh, easy. Oh,
nope.
No, man.
When that starts to happen.
Uh-oh, Earnhardt got hit on the front straightaway by Jeff Gordon. That was even ahead of the wreck that we were watching.
When a car starts to go loose at 180 miles an hour here, it's hard to get it back. The fans flock to the fence as the 3-time winner of this race, Dale Earnhardt, has his car in the wall, and Rusty Wallace on pit road.
Tremendous amount of damage on the right rear quarter panel of Rusty Wallace's car, but look at Earnhardt's car. I mean, there's not a straight piece on it. That's a real shame.
Look at how far the rear axle's been moved over to the right outside the body.
Now, that's a good example. See, Earnhardt was down under, and they just barely touched, but they did hit. Earnhardt got into him just a little bit, and in that particular place on the racetrack, it turned him right around. Even as great a driver as Rusty Wallace is, he couldn't save it.
Earnhardt's going to have to pop the right side window out to climb out as Jeff Gordon comes to the pits. You see they have a release button on the inside of that window. The left side's up against the wall. He can't get out that way. So he's going to pop himself out the right side.
Let me tell you something. That's one thing I really don't like. Being against that wall like that. Now, you don't know whether it's on fire or not. You see all that smoke coming up in there from all the tires rubbing and everything. He wanted out that baby.
Dale Earnhardt.
Look at here.
Is okay. And walks away. He will not win his 4th All-Star race tonight.
Loose.
A wave to the crowd. But it's a short end of the day for Dale Earnhardt. The defending champion of this race will walk home. When we come back, we'll have a look at the replays as Earnhardt takes one of the loneliest walks in sport back to the garage.
We've won more races in the history of Trans Am. We've won more races in the history of NASCAR. The fact is, we've won more races over the last 30 years than any other automotive company. Have a nice day.
Auto Value is a store where the parts you're looking for.
It's an amazing finish. Wallace and Martin are neck and neck. The rest of the pack tries to close the gap. They're headed for the checkered flag, and the winner is you. Because if you love NASCAR racing, you'll love Auto Value special track sets of Winston Cup drivers collector cards featuring nearly 50 of Winston Cup's top drivers. There's only one place to find them, only one place to collect them all, and that's your nearby Auto Value parts store. The parts you want, the value you expect.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. We also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Fuel. It's got to be the best, especially when you fire up. It's got to provide efficient turnover. It's got to be lean and have some rare qualities. A WD brand steak from Winn-Dixie. It'll definitely get your motor racing. Oh, the car? It takes high test.
The Meridian Advantage 200 Sunday on TNN Motorsports. If it got any closer, you'd need earplugs.
Get ready!
Speedway, the South's fastest short track.
DeSoto Speedway, the South's fastest short track, has something for you every Saturday night. And it's awesome. Late model sportsman, open wheel modified, street stock, modified minis, your stock minis, and a limited schedule of pro figure eight. Always free parking and great food at DeSoto Speedway.
Stock car racing at its finest every Saturday night at 7 p.m. sharp. Great, affordable family fun. 8 miles east, I-75 on State Road 64. Be there.
We could tell you that we've been in business for over 60 years, but is that what you really want to hear? I don't think so. You want to know that you get the best deal possible. Cox sells more cars and trucks than almost anyone in the Southeast. Why? Because we work with the customer. If you're about to make an investment, you want to know you're getting a great deal. At Cox, we'll work with you, making sure you're satisfied. Now that's what you want to hear, because that's what it takes to sell cars. And that's what we do, better than anyone else. Cox Chevy and Cox GL. Come experience the Cox Advantage.
Rusty Wallace out of the race. Can you tell us what happened in the wreck?
Well, I started the first turn, did a restart. Something happened to Kenny's car, and we got going. Went down into turn one, and the car was a little bit loose on entry. And after I got going, we went down to back straightaway. We got real tight draft getting into turn three, and Dale was real tight to me, and we just touched. Him and I just touched going into three, and there was no big deal. And the car spun, and that was it.
You talked to Dale. He was all right with it?
Yeah, you know, he just come up and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry for hitting you." And I said, it doesn't pay any points, this race. You know, this is a pretty wide open race, and we were going for it. You know, I had the first segment, Ernie and I got together on a restart, and I knocked the right front fender in, and the doggone car was pushing really bad. So I said, let's get it in and fix it and get going again, you know, so we got a good chance. So we took off, and Kenny had a good run going, and the second segment was really going good for me, and then it was going really good, and then all of a sudden that happened. Okay.
Mike Joy.
So Rusty Wallace will not win his second Winston Select tonight.
You know, Mike, it's nice to see when something like that happens, everybody don't jump out and go, oh, he meant to wreck me or whatever. No. You know, it's one of those racing things that happen, and they just got together. And the bad part was Jeff Gordon and the 4-car got together because of that incident and took him out.
Tough break for Jeff Gordon. The initial contact, though, was between Rusty and Mark Martin, who were fighting for the same piece of racetrack. It's a land rush down to turn one. We're racing.
Let me straighten things out. Jeff Gordon is in the last position. He did continue on. It looked like he might have been out of the race, but the car has to be beat up pretty bad because he was in that wreck with Earnhardt.
Three wide, back straightaway, Darrell Waltrip, who narrowly missed the crash, with Schrader, and Ricky Rudd again peels off rather than become a statistic.
Look at Ricky Rudd run in there. He's underneath all three. We might have a three abreast down the front straightaway. Not quite. Schrader's real fast off of that corner.
Side by side, and Greg Sachs goes around and hard into the wall as he and Mark Martin got together. Nemechek just slips past Mark Martin. Are we going to have any cars left to finish this race?
I'll tell you what now.
Well, Greg Sachs filed a flight plan and took off into that wall.
Yeah, that was pretty hard lick here.
Caution is out. They race back to the flag to determine the restart order. Jeff Bodine, Ernie Irvin, Sterling Marlin, Kenny Schrader, Darrell Waltrip, Ward Burton, and Ricky Rudd. Then here come Nemechek, Shepard, Jeff Burton, and Jarrett. Mark Martin, you see him climbing out. Bill Elliott, Lake Speed, Jeff Gordon, and Kyle Petty. Greg Sachs' car just exploded into the wall.
He's okay. I see him moving around.
Mark Martin is out of the car.
Yeah, Mark's getting back in. He just looked the car over and feels that he might can go on, you know.
He's going to drive it back to the garage. Full moon Saturday night. Let's show you what happens here with two white cars.
Okay, I know exactly what happened there. The two cars went in the corner there. Greg Sachs, the air was off the rear spoiler, and the car got loose and got up into the 6 car going in the corner there, Mike. When you go in, they're running speeds close to what we used to run in Daytona, and when you go in underneath the car on the bottom side, they'll suck the back right out from under you. See
Watch
right
the top
here?
of your screen.
See him right there? It just turns it around. That's aerodynamics there, folks.
That car hit the wall faster than the jets of the airline that sponsors him take off from the field at Charlotte.
Look at Dale Jarrett hold this car straight all the way down through here. You talk about sideways now. He was looking out the right door window to drive that car.
Mark Martin will drive it back to the garage area. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt makes his way back to his hauler. Randy Pemberton is following along. We'll get a word there in a minute. Look at the damage on the back of Mark Martin's car. Greg Sachs' car is a mess. Let's go down to the garage area. Randy Pemberton tracking Dale Earnhardt. Randy?
Dale Earnhardt walking back to the garage area. Dale, how did you see it? What happened?
Well, Rusty got loose, and then, then I was just dodging him. I bumped him in the back. He turned out and turned back in.
All right, obviously Dale Earnhardt upset, guys. He's out.
Earnhardt out of the race. Greg Sachs is now out of the race. He climbed from his car. Not much left there. And Mark Martin will make it back to pit road and to the garage.
Well, Mike, we lost 2 good race cars just then. I tell you, either one of those cars could have been a factor in the shootout there to the last 10 laps, but they're junk now.
Now that car, Mark Martin's, runs along okay on its wheels, but with those aerodynamics, there's no point in putting that back into the race.
No, I'd say that one's pretty well spent.
Well, it looks good from this side.
Okay, we're going to get an aerial shot going in the first corner here.
Way up front.
See the first 2 cars here? There was no contact whatsoever. The air just got off the rear spoiler and around it goes. Up to the wall, he makes contact with Mark Martin. Now watch how Mark hits here. You talk about a hard lick. He took one, but it was straight in the rear of the car.
And look at Dale Jarrett sliding along the bottom. He almost lost that car up into the wall, but he keeps on going. Now, watch and listen to what it was like where Mark Martin sat. Folks, if you don't have a healthy respect for these fellas after that, let's go down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Mark Martin, Jack Roush, as well as Steve Meal looking over this brand new car here that's pretty well destroyed, Mark. Not a nice way to end the evening.
Just proud as I can be of this Valvoline team. I didn't think we were going to run good, and we were in good shape, man. I think we had a car to contend for the win, and I can't ask for any more than that. These guys have worked their heart out to build a brand new car with all the tricks in it that we know how to do. She was pretty awesome.
What happened in that wreck?
Sachs lost it.
Is that your 600 car?
Yes. Be all right. We'll be back, and it'll be as good as new, and we'll run good. I'm proud of these guys. That's two out of 3 for Sachs and me.
Tough break for Mark Martin, who got caught up in that accident as Greg Sachs started to spin down there. Well, they have red flagged this race once again, and it's starting to look like the play 10 Little Indians, because there are a lot less than there were just a few minutes before.
Where can you go to see the biggest stars in country music all in one place? Opryland, Music City, USA, presenting Nashville on Stage. Opryland's new concert series with over 720 shows by resident superstars like Alabama.
We're spending the summer at Opryland. How about you?
The Oak Ridge Boys, Tammy Wynette, Tanya Tucker, and George Jones.
I'm doing 108 shows, and you'd better catch at least one.
3 theaters, 150 nights of concerts starring Susie Bogus, Marty Stewart, Emmylou Harris, Sammy Kershaw, Kathy Mattea, just to name a few. So if you want to be where the stars shine bright this summer, call 1-800-337-4500 to get complete information and schedules.
The biggest names in country music, every day, all summer long.
It's going to be some kind of show.
Don't wait. Call now and get your free information packet. 1-800-337-4500.
See y'all at Opryland's Nashville on Stage. I'll be there.
Hi there, I'm Charlie Chase.
And I'm Lori Ann Crook, inviting you to join us for another fun-filled week right here on Music City Tonight.
We'll pay tribute to the great Lefty Frizzell and his music.
Our special guests include Clinton Gregory,
Bobby Bear,
Riders in the Sky,
Paulette Carlson,
Rick Trevino,
Ricky Lynn Gregg,
the McCarters,
piano virtuoso Dino,
and Shotgun Red pays another visit to our studio.
I wonder what he's got planned this time, huh?
All this and more on Music City Tonight with Crick and Chase.
Weeknights.
Coming to TNN Motorsports, the Goodwrench 500, the Winston Select, the Budweiser 500, the Champion Spark Plug 500, the Slick 5300, the Splitfire Spark Plug 500, the AC Delco 500, the Slick 5500, Winston Cup 94, get ready.
The cars are running, and we're getting set for the restart. 4 laps to go in this second segment. Starting to remind me of that old Johnny Horton song, Battle of New Orleans, because there wasn't quite as many as there was a while ago. Earlier, Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin touch. Dale Earnhardt tries to go under Wallace, and they get together. Here goes Rusty. Sterling Marlin up into Jeff Gordon. It damages his car. Darrell Waltrip sneaks on by as Earnhardt ends up out of the race from this one. Waltrip sneaks right by Earnhardt again. Wonder how many lives that cat has left. And just now, watch Greg Sachs' car on the right side of your screen get a little loose coming in here. And as it goes around, taps Mark Martin, and they both go to the wall.
Been there and done that my own self. I know how that feels. That's a pretty awesome feeling when you're underneath the car and it breaks loose like that.
Getting set for the restart. On our 800 line, let's first show you who's left and where they're running. There's your front 5. And remember, the way they take the caution to end this second segment is the way they'll start the 10-lap shootout.
Mike, we still have 15 really good race cars out there. This thing is not over by a long shot.
Nope. And here are the cars out of the race. Terry Labonte with mechanical trouble and 4 drivers due to accidents.
4 real good race cars out, too, by the way.
Well, we get a bit of a shootout here. 3 laps to go right now. Well, it's Hoosier versus Goodyear on the front row. Jeff Bodine on the Hoosier tires, Ernie Irvin on Goodyear.
I imagine Darrell Waltrip thought there was 2 or 3 of those number 3s out there. He missed him twice in one wreck there.
That's right. That's right. Looking for the restart. Jeff Bodine, who backed the U.S. bobsled team to all new equipment for this year's Olympics, trying to put his car on rails and run it around here these last 2 laps before the caution waves again. Ernie Irvin on the high side, Bodine down low. 2-lap shootout, and they hang tough.
Wow, I'll say. He did a lot of work on the 7-car Bodine to get it actually good, because he was involved in an accident early on in the first part of this race.
1 to go this time. Bodine and Irvin, the 2 drivers many predicted would be running at the front in this race.
You see the sparks flying there. That's the exhaust pipes under these cars hitting the pavement over the bumps here.
White flag, 1 to go. Then the caution comes out, and then the 10-lap shootout. Darrell Waltrip moves around Ricky Rudd. That's back in 6th place. And there's Morgan Shepherd battling for 8th with Joe Nemechek. With Ricky Rudd, I don't think he's run a lap single file all night.
No, he's raced pretty hard. Look at the 28 car trying to get by, go down on the outside. I don't think he'll make that move, but look at him make that move across the grass.
Through the grass. He's gone.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
Ernie Irvin tried to pick up another check for $50,000. And instead, look what he got.
Wow.
He was 4 wheels. Never mind passing the grass with 2 wheels. He was 4 wheels in the grass. What hasn't happened tonight?
I'll tell you, when you hit that grass on the inside of the racetrack like that, Mike, it's just like hitting a sheet of ice. They're racing back here with the yellow out. I hope they understand this thing needs to be slowed down here.
Jeff Bodine was probably so concerned with Ernie Irvin, he may not have noticed that they were running to the yellow flag. And Irvin becomes the latest driver to walk away.
Wowee.
What hasn't happened tonight?
Well, he made a move to the outside and looked like Bodine might have said checkmate and moved over a little bit, and he made the move to the inside and got the race car out in the grass there. And once he got in the grass, it was pretty well done. Not a happy boy right there, I can guarantee you.
Well, not only did he not pick up the 50 grand, not only did he not end up with a chance to win the $200,000, but he ruined what might have been the best race car here. I don't say he ruined it. It got ruined. Well, folks, let's send you to the refrigerator one more time, and then we'll come back and sort this one out and show it to you again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There's something happening here. What it is exactly clear. Now stop till what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Get out of the old and get into the cold.
I bought my car new in 1970. I drove a hockey team 190-mile round trip 3 times a week.
Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
I took good care of it. And when I reached 300,000, I thought, I've got me a pretty good car.
No other leading motor oil offers more complete protection to help your car run better, last longer.
Secret to long life is regular maintenance for me and my car.
Haviland Formula 3. Why add just any motor oil? Add more life to your car.
This Goodyear Aqua Tread pumps away over a gallon of water every second with its Deep Groove Aqua Channel. That's 396 gallons per mile. Think about it. The all-season Aqua Tread, only from Goodyear.
Hey, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter. Well, can you edge with it? Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do. Well, does it clean up easy? Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts, and all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
Keep America running.
Tonight's exclusive coverage of the Winston Select on TNN has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Havel and Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Well, welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Winston Select, the most exciting Winston Select I think I've ever seen. Standing with Ernie Irvin, you saw that exciting finish. Ernie, you gave it everything you had. And folks, I want to tell you what a big heart this guy's had, what he's got. First thing he did after he crashed that car was to come down here and apologize to his pit crew. Ernie, what a way to go out.
Well, it's one of them. I just made a mistake. I shouldn't have tried to pass him like that, and end up costing us a good race car, and also cost us maybe winning the Winston. So, I feel bad for these guys because they worked real hard giving me that car and just made a bad mistake.
Yeah, but I did not see one guy in this crew agree with that, that was a bad move. Everybody patted you on the back, said, hey, you were giving it all you had.
Well, they're racers like I am, but I always see one of them deals where I forgot about the big picture and was worried about that one lap.
Well, I think we'll see Ernie around for the big picture for a long, long time. Tough break.
Thanks.
Tough words from a tough guy and a fellow who has really matured as a race driver. I think if you had to put money on somebody to win this championship this year, that would be a strong pick right there, Ernie Irvin. But that move right there was a tough one.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you what, I'm a fan of his, but, he just said something most drivers would never say.
I made a mistake?
Yeah, exactly. They pointed everything else,
From the helicopter.
Okay, he's trying to come by on the outside there, and Bodine comes up just a little bit, so he takes a sharp turn to the left here. Once he hits this grass, watch the car turn sideways right here. Okay, he's along for the ride now. The steering wheel's just something to hang on to.
And from Jeff Bodine's car, here's a final look.
Okay, you see him coming off here. He moves over just a little bit, checkmate, and then this is where everything gets started. Woo! Boy, he hit hard, too, I'm talking about. Look at the back of that car, Mike.
I'm still moved by Ernie Irvin's words.
So am I.
It's a lot of candor in what he had to say. He knew the flag was coming. He was making a great move to try to win it. It didn't pay off.
Well, he said it all. He said his crew is racers just like him, and they're racers. They were trying to win.
This fella has really matured. He is a champion caliber race driver. I don't think there's much question about that. But now let's go down to the pits with the crew chief of the leading car. Here's Glenn.
Well, this is Paul Andrew. He is the crew chief on Jeff Bodine's car, and you had some tough competition there. It was a really close battle, but it looks like now your closest competitor took himself out.
Well, it looks that way. Schrader ran real good in that one session. We'll see what happens. Schrader's pretty tough. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and, hope this 10 lap gets over pretty quick. The X-Side 4's done pretty good today. We just need to keep it out there and finish this thing, and hopefully we can win it.
Well, I pegged Jeff as having maybe sandbagged a little before the race started, and you got that grin on your face like the cat that ate the canary.
Well, we won this second segment, and we're awful proud to do that. And, we hadn't been sandbagging, though. The Hoosier tires are real good, and Goodyears are pretty good also. They're both of them are right there the same. It's going to be a tough race, We'll see what happens.
Guys, he wants to go talk to his driver right now.
Last win for crew chief Paul Andrews was the 92 Pocono 500. Alan Kulwicki was his driver. Mike from Ohio wants to know, what happened to suspension cam we used to use on TNN races? Well, we'd like to keep it for a while. That's why we didn't bring it out for tonight. There wouldn't be anything left. We'll be right back.
The Meridian Advantage 200 Sunday on TNN Motorsports. This is the heart of country. TNN, the Nashville Network.
Spend a night with the classics when World Championship Wrestling presents Slamboree, a Legends Reunion, with greats Dusty Rhodes, Ray the Crippler Stevens, Killer Kowalski, and many more. And Vader and Ravishing Rick Rude battle for the international title as World Championship Wrestling presents Slamboree 94, Sunday, May 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, live and only on pay-per-view.
Buy this event and take a copy of your bill to DeSoto Speedway and receive a buy one, get one free entry.
Look closely. Can you tell where this car's beautiful finish was severely damaged, then repainted at a DuPont Assurance of Quality Repair Center? Okay, here's a clue. DuPont, we make problems disappear.
Well, we're ready for the shootout. I don't know how this can get any more exciting, but it could. 10 laps to go. Only green flag laps count from this point, and the restarts are single file.
Well, I hope they race this last 10 laps. I need a Valium if they hit anybody on this last little bit here. I'm going to tell you what, this is scary.
Here's your Napa field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Shows you how they will restart for the final segment. Well, they won't be in rows. They'll be single file. Bodine, Schrader, Ward Burton, and Sterling Marlin. Darrell Waltrip, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, and Joe Nemechek. Jeff Burton and Dale Jarrett, Phil Elliott and Kyle Petty. Lake Speed and Jeff Gordon. And I'm sorry, I am corrected. They will go double file for the restart. Only green flag laps count.
But of course they will. You didn't think it's going to make this thing any less exciting than it's already been, did you?
That's right. We're in the entertainment business. Okay, final segment. Ernie Irvin, by the way, goes home with $93,000. $200,000 to the man who gets the checkered flag. 80 for second, 50 for third.
He made almost as much as I did tonight. Just kidding, folks.
Craig Fielden does our stats, and he's just handed me one that says, posted awards for tonight's race, $1,081,000. Value of the cars wrecked in this race so far, $1,079,000.
I'd say.
Did the fans get their money's worth?
I'm getting my money's worth. Look at Ward Burton up there in third place. And right on the outside, they were talking about they was worried about Schrader when this race gets back underway. Bodine's crew was. I'd worry about that second row back there, too. Yes. You see Sterling Marlin sitting there? Very fast race car.
Marlin in the yellow Kodak car number 4. Burton in that blue number 31. No points for the Winston Select. It is a non-point race. It's the all-star race. And its final 10 laps begins right now.
Ward must have had something wrong on the restart there. He had a terrible restart. You see that he moved back about 3 spots already.
Schrader on the outside of Jeff Bodine.
Look at Sterling coming up through here. And with the draft off these two cars running side by side, will pull him right up on them going down the back straightaway.
The combination of Russ Pittman's motor and the gearing in Marlin's number 4 may be the fastest car in the field down the straightaway here.
Look at our colleague here. Mr. Waltrip's coming up through there pretty well, too.
Morgan
Shepherd, yeah, I guarantee you.
21 car of Shepherd in fourth. Burton back to fifth. You're riding with Jeff Bodine in third, hunting for second out of turn 2.
Looked like he's doing a little more than hunting right there. That was a pretty neat move there. He got up under him. Morgan Shepherd's on the outside there, trying to find the track position. Let's hope that Jeff knows he's on the outside there coming off this corner.
Darrell Waltrip brings Ricky Rudd and Dale Jarrett up into the lead draft.
Now here comes Ward Burton back on the bottom side of Morgan Shepherd to get back into fourth place there. Look at Darrell Waltrip. You talk about somebody that's crafty in a situation like this. Here he comes.
Crafty, that's pretty bold. 3 wide for Waltrip. We'll pick him up a spot. Look at those 3 Chevrolets lined up or rather Waltrip with Rudd's Ford and Jarrett Chevrolet.
You know what? Darrell Waltrip hadn't lost a thing. Ooh!
Sterling Marlin almost lost it all right there.
You better watch it getting in this corner if they're real close together.
Schrader up high, goes for the lead.
And don't count Jeff Bodine out of this thing. I'm telling you right now, that 4 car is hooked up with Kenny Schrader. Not going to let him go anywhere. He's going to take that preferred line away from him so he can't sweep up out of the corner. Easy, boys.
You sent 20 guys down into the corner, and Schrader will be the last one to lift.
Oh, Schrader does not know any part of fear. There's none of that in his name.
Ken Schrader in the 25 car, his last victory, 1991 at Dover. Sterling Marlin, winner of the Daytona 500 in the Kodak car, and they are still dead even.
You see in 4th spot there, Darrell Waltrip moved in 4th.
For the lead. 5 laps to go this time.
Wow, that's a lot of money, boys.
Marlin was real loose last time off the corner. Dead heat. 5 to go. I didn't believe it could get more exciting, but it has.
Look at the 4 car get loose getting in the corner there. He may lose several spots on this little move. It back in on the 4 car did exactly what Greg Sachs was. He was just lucky enough to get it. Look at Darrell Waltrip go on the bottom side for 2nd place.
Waltrip, he has been the opportunist. He's taken great advantage of everybody else's miscue, and it's got him up to 2nd place. You're riding with Jeff Bodine through the quad oval start-finish line. Back to turn 1. 4 to go.
You know, Darrell's pretty good in the booth. He's pretty good out there on the racetrack, too. I'll guarantee you. Look at Bodine coming up under him, though. That's the preferred line.
Darrell getting a few gray hairs, but he is still pretty racy. Ricky Rudd on the bottom. Moves up a notch. Now it's Bodine and Waltrip. 2 Hoosier shot cars. Waltrip climbs the racetrack. Sterling Marlin coming back in it.
Boy, I guarantee you Schrader was hoping they'd stay side by side for a while, because this gives Bodine a run as Schrader going through here. And everybody's been saying the whole week that Bodine's been playing possum. Now we're going to find out.
Jeff Bodine locked onto the rear bumper of Kenny Schrader. Sterling Marlin, the number 4, coming back for
Here
third.
he comes. There was some sand in that bag, wasn't it?
Bodine takes his bobsled into turn 3.
Bobsled, indeed.
And he
comes
comes
running
out.
forward there, folks.
He comes out with the lead. Schrader in 2nd place again for the 4th time in this event. 2 to go.
Wow. You can see by the bumper cam there, Mr. Jeff is moving on.
There's the 2nd pack, led by Sterling Marlin in 3rd, Waltrip in 4th, Ricky Rudd in 5th, looking for some racing room.
You know, I don't know whether Waltrip might have used his tires up or what, but he's dropping back a little bit. Ricky Rudd's trying to get the spot, but right here is where it's all at, right up front.
White flag. 1 lap to go.
You think Bodine's ever going to convince anybody that he wasn't sandbagging just a little bit? That's a wrecked race car that they fixed, and he is going back here, and it looks like he may pull this job off. You see Sterling Marlin moving in there, going into the 3rd turn now.
And Hoosier Tires making its first victory of the season. Sterling Marlin will battle Schrader for 2nd. It's Bodine off the corner to win it. Jeff Bodine, the 86 500 winner, will win it, and for 2nd,
wow,
I can't call it.
I would have to say Sterling might have done 2nd.
Kenny Schrader looking for 2nd for the 4th time in this event. The first win for Hoosier Tires since 1989.
Boy, that's a lot of money. I tell you, this team needs it. They've had some terrible luck for part of this year.
He's got a 1 in the air. It ought to be 2 for $200,000.
You know what, though? It's really nice to see that 7th car back in the winner's circle again.
Yes, it is. Jeff Bodine purchased this race team from Jerry Kulwicki, Alan's father, toward the end of last season. And they wrecked a bunch of race cars. Now, sweet victory.
Oh, indeed. I believe he's going to turn her around here, folks.
Oh.
In memory of Alan Kulwicki. That is really special there, folks. There won't be a dry eye in this booth. Man. goosebumps are all out on me.
You know, there's two things I like about the Kulwicki victory lap. One is that it pays great tribute to Alan, a great race driver. But also, as Jeff Bodine goes around this speedway, the right side of the car is to our camera, but he's got the window net down, and he's facing the fans. He can see and he can hear as they applaud the winner, and we get to remember a great team. That says it all.
Three of the best. There's times you just don't have much to say, and this is one of them. I tell you, this is really moving here to me.
Next stop for Jeff Bodine, Victory Lane. Glenn Jarrett awaits him. Jeff Bodine's earnings tonight, $250,000.
Okay.
Jeff Bodine won the Daytona 500 in 1986 for Rick Hendrick, drove for Junior Johnson, drove for Bud Moore. But in the modifieds, not counting the year he won about 65 of 82 starts for Dick Armstrong, he ran his own race team for many of those years, the number 99 Valiants, and then the Cavalier modifieds with Billy Taylor. And a few years ago, he said, you know, I'd like to have my own race team. I'd like to call the shots. And one time he told me, I'd like to try doing what Alan Kulwicki does and try to run a team that way and see how we might do. And that thought has been validated here tonight. There's Bob Newton of Hoosier Tire in the purple jacket. He's got to be the second happiest guy in the house.
Well, Mike, that's the same crew that Alan Kulwicki had, and they got a lot to be proud of.
We're back in Victory Lane. We're fighting for position there, is Glenn Jarrett.
I'll get it.
If they can get Bob Newton out of the window there, I see that purple hat sticking all in through the side of the car there from Hoosier.
Oldest of the racing brothers from Chemung, New York. His brothers Brett and Todd were in the Winston Open tonight.
Let's get him out. We got to do live TV, Bob. Bob, we got to do live.
Yeah, Bob? Can you let him out of the car, Bob?
Yes, watch this. He'll do a tap dance on top. Yes.
You know, Jeff Bodine won $250,000, but I don't think that's the most important thing he won tonight.
No, I tell you what, that's a spot in history he just made there. And I tell you, when you say you've won the Winston, you've won the biggest race, the biggest shootout of all times.
Let's go to Victory Lane. Here's Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Jeff's getting a big swig of Gatorade, and what a thrilling finish, but also what a fitting tribute to our fallen champion, Alan Kulwicki.
Been waiting a long time, Glenn, to make that backwards lap. And in honor of Alan, that'll be the last one. Alan, he was riding with me tonight, those last few laps, really. What a tremendous feeling. I wish my wife was here. I need her because she owns this car. I'm just a driver. But great for Hoosier, their first win, a big win for Hoosier. A big win for this team. This team is great. Boy, was that a tough race. Well, I hope everybody's okay. Ernie, Dale, and everybody got in a wreck.
Well, again, congratulations. I accuse you of sandbagging, but I think you thought you had the car all along.
No, we had to make some adjustments. After that first spin, the front end was damaged. We fixed that. The second 30, it wasn't right. We made some adjustments. It was right on that last 10 laps, though.
Congratulations again on a great victory. Jeff Bodine, this year's winner of the Winston Select. Randy?
Sterling Marlin, it was that close. Jeff's over there picking up $250,000, but you had a nice night.
Yeah, I tell you, we struggled yesterday, and, Tony and the boys worked real hard on the car, got it handling good, and, the car just drove real good. Hats off to the Kodak team, and if we could have got on the outside of Schrader, I believe we could have had him, but he kept me loose when I was up under him and locked spun down there, but we had a good time, fun racing for Schrader.
Okay, and he'll be back next week for the 600.
That's right. This is just the start of May Summer Speed Week here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Busch Grand National race next Saturday. Pole night, Goodies Pole night, Wednesday here at Charlotte. Champion 300 on Saturday, the Coke 600 on next Sunday. Well, they said it couldn't be the wildest Winston ever, but sure gets the nod in my book. Jeff Bodine, a winner. Sterling Marlin, $80,000 for second. Ken Schrader, $50,000 for third. Darrell Waltrip, fourth. Ricky Rudd, fifth. Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Morgan Shepard, Ward Burton, and Joe Nemechek. That's the top 10. Kyle Petty, Bill Elliott, Blake Speed, Jeff Gordon, and Ernie Irvin ended up in the garage, as did Mark Martin, Greg Sachs, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and Terry Labonte with mechanical problems. The other drivers out due to crashes. It just can't get any wilder than this. We said that in '92. We've got to say it again.
The only way it could get more exciting is they build a ramp down the back straightaway and let them jump each other when they go by.
They nearly did that tonight in the Winston Open. What a grand night of racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stock car racing's all-star night has been a wild one, and Jeff Bodine is the man with a $200,000 check. Tomorrow, TNN televises the Meridian Advantage 200 live. The Busch Grand National race at Nazareth, Pennsylvania rolls off at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be there to bring you all the action.
I look forward to that. I'll tell you what, that's our second batch of superstars. I love the Busch Grand National Circuit. You guys join us tomorrow. I guarantee you'll see more of the same.
That'll be a great show on the 1 mile at Nazareth, PA. Lots more racing to come on TNN. In 1994, we'll be at Dover in 2 weeks, at Pocono in 3 weeks, at Phoenix, at Rockingham, and all down the line. You're watching the network that brings you more Busch Grand National racing than all other networks combined. TNN. The NASCAR network? Well, at least the Nashville network. For Glenn Jarrett, Randy Pemberton, and Buddy Baker, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Jeff Bodine on his win in the Winston Select. Good night, everybody.